welcome to another edition of the Mile High Real Estate Spotlight podcast. And I happen to be in Minneapolis this week, and so doing some leadership training type stuff that I'm out here doing. And so forgive the bed that's in the back here. It's not always what I get to do on these podcasts, but I'm just so excited. I did not want to miss this opportunity with Tammy. And so what you're going to find is she's in the Colorado Springs area. She goes all the way back north as far as Castle Rock and wherever she needs to be pretty much. And she knows what she is doing. She's not a native Colorado. It's funny because, and Tammy, maybe you can attest to this, that I think Colorado is the only state who always asks if you're a native or not. I've never been to any other states where people go, "Are you native here? Are you native here?" I don't know what is up with these Colorado folks. So, but she has been here almost longer. Yeah, it's been years since I've been here. I grew up in Colorado, and then I went to California for 25 years, and then I came back. But for about 10 years ago. And my wife, she's a California girl, so she is now implanted in Colorado. Says she'll never go back to Colorado. She won't even let me move anywhere else ever. So that's kind of cool. And so, what's exciting about today is when you find people who know what they're doing and are able to help people, you want to let everybody in the world know that she's there. And Tammy is that type of person. And so, Tammy, I want to thank you profusely for being on today, and thank you for wanting to be part of our broadcast today. And so, if you could just start out with how folks can get a hold of you, and then maybe we'll go into your story a little bit. And so, let us know how to get a hold of you, because it's going to be fun.
Hey, just reach out. You can call me at 719-492-0819. Email me, Tammy Whalen, and you spell it WHALEN 14@hotmail.com, or Tammy and Todd sells ColoradoHomes.com.
All right. So you said Tammy and Todd. So who is Todd, and how does he work with you?
Todd is my husband and my partner and my better half. And Todd does, he came in, it's kind of a long story, but he came in and he's got about 8 years in the business. I have 15, but I had broke my leg, and Todd was in the car business. He was a finance manager, sales manager. And when I broke my leg, I had quite a few deals in the hopper, and we had talked about him coming to the real estate side. So it kind of was like, okay, we got to do it now. So he came over. He was my legs and my driver. And once I got back on my feet, then Todd took his real estate license. And so I think from there, we make a great team.
That is so cool, because what I found, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is some of the best agents on the planet are husband and wife teams. There's just something about you guys working together, something about you guys, synergizing, and then being able to relate to maybe clients a little bit differently, but as a team, whether they say, two of us are better heads than one, when we come together.
Yep.
So that is so incredible. So tell us a little bit, how did you get involved in real estate? Were you just saying, hey, one day, when you were growing up, I want to be a real estate agent? Or was it, what got you into this world of real estate? And then to be able to do it for 15 years, that's really incredible. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, back in 2008, 2007, 2008, when the housing bust was coming on, as you know, the whole economy was a bit bad. And I was a manager at a car dealership, and I was going to take a pay cut. And I was going through a lot in my life, and I was like, I just can't do it. My father had just passed away, very traumatic in a daddy's girl world. And I just sat back and I looked at the numbers, and I just was like, I just can't do it. And so I told my boss at the time, I'm not going to sign the new pay plan. And he said, what are you going to do? And I said, I have absolutely no idea. Yeah. And then sat back, and I thought, well, why not? I kind of always wanted to do real estate. why not jump into it now? Now's the time. Everybody else was getting out of the business. So I jumped in. I didn't have any money. I did learn a lot, though, through those sales meetings of 10 years, sales meetings at the car dealership. So I kind of knew a lot of the basics about selling and working around all the sales guys and sales ladies and the managers. I was a customer relations manager, but I picked up a lot of tips. And so I really thank them for a lot of my success. But anyways, I jumped in. I started at Keller Williams. They have great training for new agents. And every weekend I was doing open houses. And I was just out there looking for opportunities. And I was hungry. And I was always told the harder you work, the luckier you get. And so here I am today.
Hey, I love that. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Well, and one of the things that you said was amazing, because I know that, car dealerships and car salesmen don't always have the best reputation, right? But you were in the customer relations side of it, which is probably the most important, that relationship building and learning that relationship building. And I'm sure you had to, I guess interfere or intervene or whatever. I don't even know what the word that I'm trying to use for some of those customers at the car dealership that maybe were having a hard time, and you were able to go back in there and create those incredible relationships, in that realm. What is your favorite part about being a real estate agent over the years?
It's so cliche to say I love helping people, but I am definitely a people person. And I think that's exactly what we are in this business for, because we do like people and we do work with people. And then I like guiding them. I like giving them all my knowledge that I have. I'm as honest as I can be, and just helping them get into a wonderful home, be it their first home, their third home. And I always tell them, hey, I'm always going to guide you right, because I don't want you to ever call me and say, I want to sell my home. And I said, well, your location is bad, or etc. I want them to make as much money as possible and get a great return on their investment.
Gotcha. And we know that, life happens to people, and sometimes they have to move and they have to go places. And, to be able to call you back at the end, I think is something super special. Like, hey, you helped me in this transaction before, and then in the next transaction. What do you think is probably your, or what you've learned over the years that just makes you exceptional, that makes you, because I try not to do this podcast with folks that are just, I hate to say it, that are brand new, or who've done one transaction in the last 3 years. I want to make sure I'm doing it with people who are exceptional at what they do, and they do it well. What do you think that is that makes you that exceptional agent?
Well, let me tell you, this sounds so simple, but I believe it. And I can tell you a small scenario, but I answer my phone. And
what?
I know that
not
sounds
in
funny.
2023, right? Even worse than answering your phone is all the voicemails, right? You just get voicemail that says, "Oh, by the way, here you listen to the whole voicemail. Oh, your voicemail is full." I am so
right,
tired
right.
of
Well, and
voicemail is full.
it's so important. And I coming from the customer service, business, I think when people call you, they literally pick up the phone and call you something. They need something. They need either reassurance, they need guidance, they want a house to look at, whatever it is. But I can't tell you how many people I hear, and in this industry, they stick a sign in the front yard and don't pick up their phone.
Yeah, it is amazing that just communication, we've lost
Yes.
that art. I think some of us who are a little bit older, who remember life before the internet, remember life before cell
Mhm.
phones, have that ability, or just that belief that, if I'm going to pick up the phone and actually call you. I tell my wife this all the time, because she's now at the point where she doesn't like calling people, and I'm like, call them. I'd rather just send an email. She sent me some funny thing last time, and like, if you remember, my life depends on me being able to communicate and talk to people. And I somehow in a text message or in an email, it's the words are lost in translation, the tone, the nonverbal stuff that happens. So that is really cool. I know I asked you this a few minutes ago, but if you were to have a superpower, in this business, I guess your wish for one, what would that superpower be if you could have anything you wanted? And then maybe you can tell us what your actual superpower is.
Ooh, that's a tough one. My superpower. I would like to say one of my best traits, because I do have that. First of all, I'm a mother, two great, wonderful kids. Sometimes you have three when you include your spouse, right? But
No, I'm not that way. I'm not a kid. I'm
but I
always an
try
adult, more mature than my wife.
I try to keep as a superpower, I guess, talking, because I try to keep, if anything goes wrong in the transaction, I talk to my folks. I make sure they're calm, they understand. I try to inform them as much as I can throughout the transaction. And I think that's calming when they feel they're a part of it and they know what's going on. They don't got to guess or wonder, hey, we haven't heard from Tammy. What's going on with our deal? So I would think, and I do like to do this, and that's talk. But and I guess in the real world, that would still apply.
It is. You think about, our relationships that we have with people. And if you talk to somebody long enough and you talk to somebody, you get to understand them and you start making relationships. And sometimes this can be very transactional, especially somebody who is super busy like yourself, who is good at
Yeah.
what they do and maybe have a whole bunch of deals going at the same time. And sometimes, it can get to the point where, hey, I'm just calling you. I'm going to update you. Here's what's happened in the file. We'll talk to you later. I don't see that with you. I see that as I want to make a relationship. I want to know what's going on with your family. And I think that's what makes the best real estate agents even better, is because they're able to, let's say you're talking and you go to somebody's home, or a new home that you're showing them, by having those conversations, you're finding out what they really like, right? Because they give you a list of everything they think they like, and then you go into the home and you watch them and you realize the things that they said may not be true, and the things that you see them light up about are true. But I don't think you get that by just standing in the back. I've seen real estate agents where they bring somebody in. I'm sitting at an open house or something, and they just say, "Hey, welcome to the house. Go ahead and take a look." And then, I've even seen like the buyer's agent come in and say, "Go ahead and look," and they just sit down and wait for them to come back. Well, how can that happen when you don't know that? So is that like a skill that you've learned, or just something you've already had of just being with folks?
Well, one of the biggest things is trying to be open minded as an agent. I had a wonderful couple coming from Germany. I had sold their house when they went to Germany. They were coming back. They did have a budget, but a little bit higher budget. They wanted at least over a half acre to 2 acres. And we went under contract. We thought they loved the house. They had to have the space. They wanted the openness. They have three boys that play sports. Mom's busy. She's a principal of schools, and dad was in the military. Long story short, had to have that half acre. I felt terrible. They came back and did not like the house, did not like anything about it. They got out of the deal. And do you want to believe they ended up in a regular neighborhood in Cordera, smaller lot, but it had a pool. And there was no mention of a pool. But when those boys seen that pool, I knew we were writing the contract.
It was all over. Yeah, I'm sure, especially in Colorado. I mean, that's not your normal. California, everybody has a pool in their backyard.
Right, right.
Arizona, everybody has a pool in their backyard.
Yeah.
Colorado, that's not as common. And to be able to find that and see, I love that about it.
And it was a
So
small
if
lot.
somebody comes to, Yeah, and they wanted the big acres and everything,
Yeah,
right? That's what they thought they wanted. They wanted to be able to run and
exactly.
play, and then you realize your kids get older real quick, right? And then they don't want
Yeah,
to run and play. They want to go run and play with their friends, not out in the yard.
yeah.
That's
Well,
what
and
I
I
learned
was
about
like,
mine.
hey,
I
right. I was like, hey, you just got to take a look at it. It's exceptional value. It's awesome. She goes, okay. And then we walked in and it was a done deal.
Gotcha. Oh, that is so cool. Um, if somebody comes, so they come and say, Tammy, um, I've never bought a house before. This is my first time. Um, I really don't know what I'm doing, and I'm sure you've had that conversation many, many times over the years.
Mhm.
What can they expect from you? What are some of the things that you do to help them walk through? Hey, it's the biggest purchase of their life, probably. They've never done it before. What can they expect?
You know what? I love to meet them for coffee or whatnot, to introduce myself, talk to them, go over everything that I can share with them. A lot of times for our first home buyers, there's programs out there that can help them with down payment assistance because it's such an expensive purchase. And now you move to your first home and you have no furniture. So I say, hey, do you know about the down payment assistance? We got CHAPA, have a El Paso County bond program. Some is free money, the other gets tacked at the end of the loan. And it's such a perfect program for our first time buyers to get some assistance so they have a little bit of a piggy bank in case anything happens in the future or they lose a job, they still have that some of that down payment money in their checking account to help them through any rough times. So I
Yeah,
definitely
that is so
love,
cool.
yeah, I love to educate them because a lot of people don't even know those programs are out there. And it's crazy that if you have a first time buyer, especially, it's usually, and not always, but a lot of times it's my younger buyers and they've been saving up or, hey, I've been shopping and I had people say, oh, you're a real estate agent. And I'm like, yeah. And they go, we want to buy, but we're waiting for our down payment. And I'm like, hey, hold it, there's assistance out there. Do you know about it? And I found so many first time buyers when I'm out shopping.
Oh yeah, no, it is so amazing. As a lender and knowing that those programs are out there, I am closing a loan on Thursday, so in a couple days, of a person who qualified for the Metro DPA program and qualified for it was called Project ICU. So literally
Right?
$35,000 assistance she was
That's
able to
huge.
get, and then for the first time to be able to buy a house. And a year ago, when we approached she didn't even think she could, like you said, didn't even know the house was even in their mind. Somehow people got that 20% down in their mind and they're
Yeah.
saying, oh, we got to save it for 20%. And so I have several people in my pipeline right now that we can all, I would say there's not a better opportunity right now for down payment assistance than there ever has been. There is so much money out there that can help people get into home ownership. And then to be able to
Well,
marry that with the real estate agent is just, because you can go help them find a house that they can love instead of just waiting around in their apartment hoping that someday that they're going to money's going to drop on their head to be able to save up that kind of money.
right,
Yeah,
right.
so
And it's always baby steps. You start somewhere and continue to grow, but that's how you grow your wealth, and if you don't know, um, you don't know. That's why I think that's so important. Part of my job is to educating not just first time buyers, but buyers, that it's their second or their third home, different types of lending, great lenders, things like that.
yeah, it is so cool. And so one of the things, like, you've been doing this business for a while, so you've been around long enough to know that things change and go. And so there's so many people who are saying, I'm waiting for the rates to go down, or I'm waiting, to have save up the money, or I'm waiting, waiting, waiting. What do you say to people that are just waiting, waiting, waiting when there's so much opportunity that's out here?
Here's what I'm saying, and I'm kind of proof of the pudding, and I can tell you that story later. I'm like, now is the time to buy. I know the rates are a bit higher. I know your payment's going to be higher than you really wanted, but if you can do it and tough it out, You can always refi later, but you know what? When we see the rates drop, what's going to happen? The floodgates are going to open, and we are immediately in the Colorado area. We're going to be back to multiple offers. We're going to be, 25, 50 grand over list price, cash at table. Don't wait. Now's the time to buy because you do have some negotiation power.
Yeah, you think about the folks that we're helping now that will be sitting on their patios watching everybody else fight over, this little bit. And then what if our rates go up? Then now they might be priced out of a house or the ability to get the house that they want because they're waiting for this thing. I remember when I bought my first house and, I think I was at 11.5%. And that was a
Right.
good rate at that time, right?
Right.
And the rates went down, and we just had this clearance sell over the last 4 years, and somehow people think, well, everybody's going to have a 2 or 3% rate, but I think we're kind of at normal right now. And there, like you said, there's a negotiating power. The inventory is pretty good right now, and it's not a good time to wait. If you're able to get a home right now, then it's the time to get a home right now. So
Absolutely.
that.
And anytime's a good time to buy. I mean, at this point, if you're renting, it's 100% interest. And hey, start tomorrow building your own nest egg.
Yeah. I say this a lot with folks that if you're spending $2,000 a month on rent, and that's $24,000 a year. If you stay at that home for 10 years, you spent $240,000 building somebody else's dream. How about spend that money on yourself and be able to, even if it's a stretch to get in, it is so worth it, especially with my first time buyers that are just, I'm so happy I did this. I'm so happy this is mine. I have one who's scared to put like holes in the wall because he's so used to the apartment life that to hang up pictures, and he's like looking for the 3M stickies. I'm like, it's okay, it's your house. You can put a nail in the wall. Like,
I'll come over and help you.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody else is stopping you from doing that. Yeah. So Colorado Springs area, just kind of tell us a little bit about that area, and what is there inventory right now? Because I've heard all this, scuttlebutt. There's no inventory in Colorado. There's no way to find a house. Everything we want. What is the situation where you're out there?
Well, we always have turnover, which is very interesting because we have the 5 military bases here. So there's somebody's always moving and somebody's always buying. So I think that's a huge reason why you should buy in Colorado Springs. Not just the equity you can build and the wealth, but there's always a buyer and always a seller. But I'll tell you, we went from, as like everybody else, 5, 6, 7 offers on one house in a weekend, gone, listed on a Thursday, gone on a Monday, because you held it, going for the highest offer. But so homes now, on the average, unless they're super unique, or maybe priced a little bit undervalued, or in that great location with the great views, most houses are sitting about 3 weeks to a month. So that's a change, but that's why it's so good for somebody to get out there and buy, because people, want to sell their homes. And I'll tell you something else. I think there's only real buyers out there and only real sellers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to jump in this market if they're not serious.
Yeah, that is such a good point. Is if you're ready to sell, and some people just need to. I mean, if they got a job or promotion and have to go somewhere else, or like you said, with all the military bases, you get transferred, then you got to go. And so you're serious about trying to get it done. And then the buyers who, and I'm telling people, call us, let us help you get to, where you want to be, because you're telling me you want to buy a house. I have some, 3 or 4 50-year-old, in their 50s right now. I'm in my 50s, so I'm not saying that's not older, that are saying, I've never owned a home before. I would like to buy a home, but I'm worried, I'm scared. And I'm like, well, this is the best time because you're going to get attention of, some really incredible real estate agents that I'm going to introduce you to, and you're going to be able to find, some places that you'll like. So if you're patient and you take your time, and we can get you qualified, because there's no better time to get you qualified than right now,
That's
then
right.
we're going to do a really good job with you.
That's right.
So Tammy, we're kind of running on time. I hope you'll come back at some point, because I'd love for you to, maybe have one of your clients, or if there's a client story you'd love to share with us right now. So tell us how to get a hold of you again, and then maybe if you have a client story that you could tell of something. I guess you told us the one about the pool, but maybe if you have another one, or just give us some closing
Okay.
thoughts about you and what you can do, that would be great.
Okay. Story first. Todd and I we sold a young military gentleman and his family, his wife, a home over by Fort Carson. We sold it to him over 6 years ago. He had to move, one of those. And when we closed, they put in their pocket $175,000.
Ooh, that's
I
awesome.
know nothing feels better. That gives me the chills.
Yeah,
Nothing makes us feel
that is.
better when our clients make that kind of money. We know the market was crazy, went up a lot, but you know what? If it's 75 or 100,000, that makes me feel good. And they were so happy, and it wasn't even the easiest sale. They had to get a new roof on, this, that, and they still made that kind of money. And you know what? They were in the early 30s. So that makes me feel good, where they're going, they can buy another home, put all the money down or put a portion, and they're going to have wealth for the rest of their life by buying a home. And that means if it starts with a townhome to a home, you know how it is. And
Mhm.
that makes us feel good. That's what it's about.
That is so. I mean, talk about starting generational wealth, or putting money in a college fund
Yes.
for kids, or not
Yes.
utilizing the whole 175 on the down, and being able to, do special things, or I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many things that home ownership can allow you to do. You think if they
Yes.
they lived in an apartment that 6 years, how much of that would
Oh,
they be able to take with to the next home? None, right?
and
That is
yeah,
so,
and they were in an apartment. So,
wow.
it just felt good. And that's what's
Mhm.
great about our business is we have a lot of
Wow.
love stories.
Oh, I love it, love it, love it. So tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Okay, just give me a call, 719-492-0819. I do text. Call me. I don't care how you get a hold of me, just call me. Emails Tammy Whalen 14 at hotmail.com, and Tammy and Todd sells Colorado Homes.com.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, she's going to answer the phone. So make sure you call
I
her,
will.
which is kind of, and she's going to talk to you and walk you through that whole process. Tammy, do you have
You
any
know,
closing thoughts?
You know what, Brian? I know that sounds funny. And I just read this the other day, and the statistic shocked me. It said 7 out of 10 people that call you when you don't answer the phone will not leave a message and will not call you back. They'll go to the next agent.
Oh,
Isn't that
I did
huge?
not know that.
And
Seven
I
out
didn't
of
either.
10
I
if you
just
don't.
read it on Inman. On Inman. I just read it, and I was like, wow.
That is huge. That's 70% of people will
Yeah.
never even think about calling you back.
Won't leave
And
you a
even if,
message.
yeah, and if you think about, of all those seven, maybe one deal, and that happens,
Yep.
every other week, then you've lost, all the deals that you can have, and all the people you're not able to help, that
That's
have gone
right.
to somebody else just because you didn't answer your phone. Oh, that is
That's
huge.
right. That phone, I live by that phone.
Mhm. That is so cool.
But that's what
Well,
we
well,
do.
well, thank Yes, it is. It's exactly what we do. And I just want to thank you for taking your time today and being on. One of the things that I say at the end of all these calls is, one, for the people who don't believe they can do it, is you can do this. I want to make sure you know you can do this. You can have home ownership, or you can have a second home ownership, or you can even have investment home ownership. You can do it.
That's
And you just
right.
got to make the calls. The second thing is, you deserve this. There's just some about our country that allows people to be able to create, just like she was talking about, that wealth that only a home can give you. And you deserve this. And then the last thing is, let us help you. There are things you don't know in markets that go up and down and interest rates that go up and down. And if you will let us help you, we can get you over that hump or get you out bridges. So many people are making half-built bridges, right? Because they think they know how to do it, and then they get frustrated and they stop. Let us help you, and we will do it. And so, Tammy, again, thank you for being on. I appreciate the time that you spent with us. And then, like I said, hopefully you'll come back and we'll bring a client on or something, and we will make this super fun. So you guys have a wonderful, incredible, awesome day today, and I look forward to talking to you on the next one. You are so welcome. This is Brian Arnold, and if you are listening to this part, you've just watched one of our episodes of the Mile High Real Estate Spotlight, where we've just talked to one of the best of the best. And I want to thank whichever guest that was here. They are phenomenal. They are amazing. They are the top of the top, the best of the best that are in our industry that are here with us today. And so I encourage you to please call them, pick their brains. They work for you. They enjoy working for you. They are incredibly good at it. And so I want to make sure that you give them a call. So whoever you listen to, whichever one you saw that you were there, please do that. The other thing is everyone deserves a home. Everyone deserves a home. I say that at the end of my show. You deserve it. Let us help you do it. My goal is to make sure that we see homeownership. It just sickens me to see apartment complexes continue to go up, because I know those are people who haven't been able to make the call or figure out a plan. So let us help put that plan together for you. I have some websites that allow you to do that, and I'll put those in the bottom, but please do. I am a lender. I do work in the lending space. If you do not already have somebody who's pre-qualified you, I would love to be able to have that opportunity to earn your business and qualify you. My number is 720-682-2223. That's 720-682-2223. Give me a call anytime, and I would love to be able to help you with that. We also do living trust. And so when we think about an estate to try to avoid probate and make sure that doesn't happen. So whether it's if you own a home, and you should have a living trust. And I will say that everyone not just deserves it, everyone needs a living trust if they own a home. And then finally, just wanted to thank you for watching these episodes. And so please tune into more. Would love for you to see and be able to shop around. So thank you for doing that. Again, I want to make sure that you know that you can do this. You deserve this. And let us help you make it happen. You guys have an awesome, wonderful, awestruck, incredible day today.